Okay, so all curses have like a design, construct, geometry, color, projection. They have a basic underlying 0 point geometry, and then it can project like a scheme of whatever the psionic being is making a construct as a concept to imprint and pass down later on and use multiple times. Or sometimes it's unawareness and some certain things are filled in the blanks. They have structure, hardness, energy. Sometimes they have like artificial or trapped sentience, or it depends on it's usually abused if it's a curse. How a curse functions is important because how well it's designed over time to last, how hidden it is, what it's doing. There's all kinds of different technology and science to curses. It's interesting, but also, um, I mean, it's gonna exist regardless. Might as well know about it so that you can keep it from affecting you, and then you come out stronger. As well as it's interesting to see how many people actually have curses and unawareness. I definitely recommend caution when removing curses. I don't recommend anyone just get out there and try removing your curses or other people's curses, especially. It will blow up in your face all the time. It will always do that. They're booby trapped, most of them. I mean, it depends on what the level is. Going in the smaller levels, not going to be as booby trapped. Um, but at a certain level, they start getting all booby trapped and they get monitored. And there's triggers and awareness, and there's cause and effect and consequences to triggering them off. Either just tipping off some being that made it or implanted it that it's been removed or it's gonna be removed, or the being that has it is aware of it, can be the booby trap. Or when dealing with booby traps, you got to be very careful, otherwise they'll blow up. Not like actually blow up, though energetic maybe some are designed to do that. Some of the lower level curses will usually manifest themselves in a sickness, a rash, a skin condition, something that, oh, witches' warts is a big thing. Why do witches have warts? Well, you know, they're dabbling in things they're not always aware of because the reality and most people around them have no idea about them, so they're like rediscovering it. So it's like learning from mistakes kind of thing. So things will kind of manifest if you accidentally trigger these booby traps. So I don't recommend removing them. You have to get an expert, trained uh, individual such as myself that has been doing it a long time, has learned many levels of curses and have removed a high amount, especially with if you're wanting a full body removal of curses or a specific intention curses, and it also depends how many curses the person has, how targeted they are, because they may have a lot, and then there's like a reason for that, and it can be tracked back and resolved all the same. And there is blowback for doing these curses, especially if something wants to maintain the curse over a long period of time and is willing to replant it if it gets removed. You have to do it camouflage and make sure that the being is not aware, or you actually resolve it with that being so they don't feel the need to suppress the person, or counter chess move and prevention, which I do pretty much all of those. So yeah, I don't recommend any person just picking this up unless you're gonna get hit pretty hard. I was hit in the beginning, like a lot, and I had manifestations of rashes and sick, got like really sick, got like targeted like a lot, and I learned from every one of those mistakes, and I don't wish it upon my greatest enemy. It's pretty harsh. So when removing these, get a professional. I can teach how to do it, but I also will work with the individual to remove as many of them on as possible till the what they're looking for is had. I've removed a bunch of wealth manifestation curses from a lot of people, so I'm really good at that, and I've seen positive effects with the people that have had it removed. So that's I do recommend people get that. So silent targeting, how the curse is getting into the system is what is need to be found, if it's a targeting of that actual person, that lifetime, or if it's a bleed over or DNA lineage thing, and then resolving that and going back, and you can see what's the problem, how it happened, the memory. I can do that. Uh, Relive the events, and as well as go back and make full resolution so it does not come back or get re-imprinted. Camouflage, it's tricky thing, so that's needed absolutely when removing them, as well as the ones that are using them to hide themselves. Any being that has a high affinity towards a fairy tale concepts and timelines of what we know in our myths and legends and mainstream fairy tales and all that stuff, and what they are as a manifestation is retelling of stories that have a common theme and symbology to them, and sometimes they're based on actual events. Some of these events aren't accurate to what they've been passed down to us almost at all, but like they'll have similarities, and also sometimes recurring parts, especially with the, the spirits that were involved in the original events. There's huge amount of like curses and negative magic from events like that have happened, as we can tell by some of the stories that have affected like whole landscapes, DNA lineages, people, or like a story like concept that has happened that is a replaying, as well as the whole timeline thing where there's multiple timelines going about and splitting off from all individuals' choices, habit patterns. Um, and there are timelines made so that multiple spirits can live out these fairy tale things because they're very sought after in experiences. So this also goes along with them dealing with those time loop curses that keep happening. I've noticed that with a lot of people that have a part in a similar story of some kind that exists, and then that affecting them this life. There are time curses, which, like for negative time travel or interaction with timeline consciousness awareness and affecting, changing things or viewing things that have happened on the timeline. There are beings that know that technology counter chess move or steal that technology from beings constantly. It's a very sought after ability. So there are also beings that use that for the negative, and it's negatively imprinted. It limits our ability to function with these concepts while stealing our own authority to do it, and keeps a constant state of kind of harvesting. Usually, it depends on how it's created, if it's made well by the system of domination control. And there's sometimes not really curses at this point. It's like a self-imposed curse based on the being negative. And if they get something keeping them from accessing time codes, that's good thing for the future because they're not authorized to use that ability, and they'll fuck things up pretty strongly for the future. So it's not really a curse, but it's a limit of gatekeeping that can be resolved by not being an ass, and then working with Source, Earth, and their higher self for ultimate remedy on the timeline. Everything can be resolved, really. So come contact us if you want to remove them. We can do that for you. Just if you want to get a hold of us at silvercordss.com or Silvercord Spiritual Science on YouTube. We're also on Facebook. You can reach me, Sean Bond, or KJ Scoops, or whatever employees we'll have in the future. And hope you have a wonderful day. You can contact us by reaching our executive assistant, Mary, at mokorn@hotmail.com, and we look forward to hearing from you.